This is Kenny Clark, and this is Lombardi's Bar.
This is one of my favorite podcasts to do.
I'm just, blessed and thankful to be a part of this podcast. It's a great podcast. It's a great interview.
Maybe I know that you guys obviously being the best Packers podcast that's out there.
I had Malort this weekend, so I'm not tasting anything.
Oh, good.
He did.
God.
He did. That was fantastic.
Because they said, "Did you ever try Malort?" And I said, "No." And then they said, "Do you want to take a shot of Malort?" I said, "No," but I did.
Wait, who said
It's called peer pressure.
Yeah. I tried to get in a high honors English class once, and they called my parents and were like, "Hey, just tell him he can't do it."
It shows. It really shows.
I hate you guys so much.
I'm going to throw these two guys into the screen so that if I die, they can carry on the legacy of crap that is this show.
Hello and welcome back, guys, to Lombardi's Bar. Hello. We already got people in. I love how fast you guys jump in here. It makes me feel really welcomed, especially as your new bartender. Yes, it's me, Jasmine, with the new wig this week. I hope you guys like it. Hi, Joe, Emma. It's a balmy 98 degrees here in LA, but that's not why we're here. You know that. We're not here to talk about all the places that I might be sweating at this very moment. We're here because it's that time again, right? Where grown men ride little bikes and we get all choked up at how freaking cute it is. That's right. The Packers are back at camp. I know. I just know you guys are clapping on the other side. I know you are. And I know also a couple of guys who probably shed a tear or two while watching those overgrown men on tiny bikes with the kids running next to them. So we're just going to go ahead and bring them right in. We're going to start with Dan. Welcome, Dan. And I brought you in strategically first, just in case you wanted to say anything about soccer.
Thank you. Well, as rookies are showing up to camp for the first time, there's some rookies on the U.S. women's national team that are going to have to show up tonight against the Netherlands, speaking specifically of Sophia Smith and Trinity Rodman. I'm looking at big things for them against the Netherlands tonight, and hopefully my girl, if I could turn around in the chair enough, this is my Rose Lavelle jersey. The Dutch killer herself. I'm expecting big things from her tonight, and I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that until the game starts.
I thought it was gonna be really nice but they're already like, stop, Dan. I'm sorry. But you're doing well. You're doing okay today.
It was also very muggy and sweaty here in Detroit, so I'm also sweaty.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just be a sweaty mess, so we can just bring Todd in, and hopefully he didn't, get eaten by a bear. Oh, he's there. Oh, he's mad. He's so mad.
We're done. We're done talking about soccer already. Jeez, I was really hoping we were going to break down some of the whatever things they do. Thanks, Dan, for that preview. That was wonderful.
But you weren't in here, so I was
USA. Yeah, let's go.
So where are you right now? Are you?
I am at my friend's house in Montana. Hanging out still for a couple more days.
So still possible bear sightings there, correct?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be in bear country yet for another month or so, at least.
Okay. So still a chance you'll get attacked.
Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Theoretically, everywhere could be bear country. Bears could be anywhere.
Except in the end zone.
Like in LA, really? Oh, I'm... I can't with you guys.
Softball?
Crushed it.
All right. Well,
bring Jimmy and follow that one up.
I guess I was going to say we could try to bring Jimmy in.
Dude, I hate that I laughed at that one. I wasn't even on camera, so it wasn't even like a forced oh, Todd. I was like, shit, that was a funny one. Well, I was in a great mood until that. Now I feel like we had 14 minutes last week before a Todd, you're right. And now it was 3 minutes before a genuine Todd laugh. It's not off to a good start.
Going for that 4-peat in the MVP voting.
I can give you a chance, Jimmy, to feel better. Did you do your homework from last week? Did you find another way to say 4 in a different language?
I did not know that was like a
did.
homework assignment. I
You
thought
said-
that was something we just all acknowledge. I don't and will never know.
You said
And
you said I'll be prepared next week. I listened. I actually watched the episode again. I do my homework.
Film.
You went back and watched that?
Listen, I like to prepare, guys. Okay.
We rewatch every episode too. A lot of game film, a lot of prep.
Yeah.
Picking up on what we could do better, what we did great. That's
That's why we're around for 4 seasons.
Yeah. That's why we just continue to get better and better every year and don't rely on bringing in new people to try and improve this shitty fucking product.
Well, that's why I'm here. For
Yeah.
the looks,
Yep,
for the looks, for the diversity,
There it is.
And
that's not it.
I think that's it. Just my looks and my skin. I'm sorry.
We can't say that.
Yes,
Dan,
I
we're
can
also
say it.
Dan's also here so that we can harvest his skin
Okay.
and other organs.
Silence of the Lambs stuff.
I did read organ trading is very profitable right now. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a hot market.
Oh Lord.
I mean, I'm just saying, Buffalo Bill didn't kidnap small women.
is that another MASH reference? What are we doing right now?
The Silence of the Lambs.
Jesus, Jimmy.
I've never seen it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Would you do me?
Okay.
I'd do me.
Put the lotion on, Dan.
hard.
With the lotion
The
on.
lotion.
See, I knew that reference. The lotion
on the fucking
reference.
basket.
I only know the fava beans. That's like all I say all the time for no
And a
reason.
nice Chianti.
Every time you have a glass of Chianti.
Every time, and that's why I love Chianti.
Yep.
Anyway,
Let's get
well,
to
let's
football.
let's get into the football. I feel like everyone's like, please stop. Let's get to buy around. Todd, would you like to start? You look very
Yes.
serious and focused. So
Yes, I am going to go. We're going to a different team. We're still in the preseason, so I don't feel as bad about doing this. We're going to head to the NFC South. Arthur Smith talking about how having a mustache is a lifestyle and it's not for everybody. Shout out to him. Anytime somebody pulls one off and gives props to it, you got to buy him around. So he's not as good looking as me with the stash, but he's pulling it. So we're good to go.
I think your biggest competition is Michael Allen on Twitter. I think you and him should have a mustache competition. We all vote on it. Loser has to shave their mustache. There can only be one.
I'm not interested in taking part in this.
wait, this could
I'm
be a good thing for you. You all have facial hair.
In
not
their
I'm not
defense,
This is not facial hair.
yeah,
This
I
is-
look like an 8th grader who's trying
Yeah.
to grow their first beard. It is patchy as hell.
There's a reason
I-
mine's
no.
only here and not through here because it would look worse than both of theirs.
Look at our confidence. She mentions our facial hair, and all three of us immediately
Oh.
go to how bad. it is.
Sorry, I didn't
This
mean
is
to
shit.
strike a nerve with you guys. I really apologize. But that is a good one, Todd. I like
No,
that.
this is an emotional support neck beard. This serves no other purpose.
Dan's turning Amish in a couple weeks.
There was a period of time, and there are pictures of me actually at Lambeau where I did
I don't like
all
where this is going.
this, but no mustache, and it was just straight Amish. And I look back on these pictures, and some of them are with my wife, and I'm like, I love these pictures, except why the fuck am I doing this with my face?
Everyone else looked at it like, why the fuck is she with him?
Everyone,
Yeah.
They still do that.
clearly, she didn't love me enough yet because she would have said, "Why the fuck haven't you grown this part out?"
Very true. Oh gosh. All right, Jimmy, who do you want to buy around for?
I went with Mark Murphy. I thought it was hilarious that for years now we kept saying like we can't wait to see Matt LaFleur's offense. Can't wait to see his true offense that Rodgers doesn't change. And what was it last year? He said, "Oh, I always laugh when they say that because this is my offense." And Mark Murphy during the shareholder meeting said, "We're actually going to see Matt LaFleur, more of Matt LaFleur's like true offense now." And I just appreciate that he doesn't give a shit what they want him to say, and he's just going to say what he wants. He's to the point now; he's going to be retiring soon. His whole Rodgers is an interesting guy. No matter what Rodgers says, I still think Mark Murphy told him not to be the problem when they hired Matt LaFleur. I appreciate him. I think he just fits like a super smart, grumpy old man. and it reminds me of my grandpa Bob, except he has all his teeth. My grandpa Bob had none. So that's the big difference.
Are we sure those are his teeth? I'm not trying to disparage Mark.
You think
Murphy.
there's someone else's?
I think they might be. They look a little.
If they're veneers, like I still count them as teeth.
But
they're better than mine. I got candy cavities all over.
I'm talking about like something he has to take out of his mouth and put in a little cup of alcohol.
Dentures?
Dude, he's rich. There's no way he has dentures. If he has anything, it's veneers.
Okay, but Mark Murphy strikes me as the like rich miser who still shops at like Big Lots to buy things because the apples here are 2 cents cheaper than at Aldi's.
That's a fair point. He could probably
do they have apples at Big Lots?
They don't. I was gonna.
They don't.
They don't.
I bet there's one Big Lots that has it.
It's just a stuffed apple for a kid to sleep with. It's actually not food.
Well, if you don't have real teeth, that would probably be the preferable apple.
No, see, that's true. He's probably not eating apples. Bananas.
I can't.
They don't have those either.
You got to mush them up.
Yeah, you got to just stop naming fruit because they do not have it at Big Lots.
There's none. All right.
But anyways, Mark Murphy, I'll buy you whatever you want. And as Dan said, you'll take like a Ham's beer or something. So I'll give that to you.
Dan, who do you want to buy around for?
I'm going to buy around for Rashawn Gary because props to him. It sounds like he is progressing along very well with his ACL injury. I think there was pretty significant worry that, he might miss like at least a quarter of the season, if not a little bit more, depending on how that injury recovery went. And it sounds like people are saying that he's on track to even start before the end of training camp. So big props to him because he is an invaluable piece to this defense, and getting him back before the season actually starts would be absolutely huge. And just congratulations, because we've seen multiple cases of a torn ACL coming out of nowhere and completely derailing your career, no matter how hard you try to work back with the injury recovery. So props to Rashawn.
Absolutely.
We definitely need him back. Like, no offense to Justin Hollins. Like he came in and did a great job last year signing him off the Rams after the Rams cut him. But that's not like coming into his first full year with the Packers. When you can have him or Rashawn Gary, there's a very, very obvious choice. And hopefully he can start the season, even if they put him on limited snap counts and have him play like 40-50% of the snaps for the first few weeks. Like, any Rashawn Gary is good Rashawn Gary. So hopefully we can get him. Hopefully we can get him on the field sooner rather than later. Also, for what Gil said, it's been 2 years and I still don't trust my ACL. It's
been like
a while.
20 years and I still don't trust mine.
We both have had ACL like situations, both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
We would have both been in the NFL too. It just really derailed our career.
Yeah.
I was a 28-year-old prospect, but almost made it.
So close. I'm
So
so
close.
sorry for you. I'm so sorry.
That close.
That close.
All right. Well, let's pay the tab. Dan, do you want to go ahead and tell me?
Sure. Yeah, and it piggies back pretty well off of the Rashawn Gary buy around, and I'm going to ask the rookies to pay the tab. Not anything specific, not anything really too specific. I think there was highs and lows from everybody in the first day of training camp, obviously, and I think if you're taking anything out of day one and extrapolating it into bigger narratives, I think you're a fool. But it was kind of surprising to see Lucas Van Ness not running with the ones right away. I really liked some of the stuff that I was hearing that Luke Musgrave was doing, but also we're seeing like kind of the growing pains that some of these rookies have, where he was having trouble with blocking assignments. And I think just some connection issues with Jordan Love as well, some of the tight ends and wide receivers. So it's very early, obviously, but This is going to be, especially an offense, that is going to require rookies to come in and pick up pretty damn quick what's going on. And so the buffer zone for the leeway that they get in learning where they fit and how to kind of be successful is much smaller. So I'm going to ask them to pay the tab today.
See, I understand what you're saying. My thing, like with this rookie class, I really only expect Musgrave and Reed as like walk in. You need to make an impact on day one. I think with Van Ness, I don't know. I feel like with defensive line, it's normal for them not to bring them along quick because we saw that with Rashawn Gary. And granted, at the time they had Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith, but I don't really. I'd never expect him to come in and run with the ones right away. I feel like, especially with defensive line and on the defensive side of the ball, they have them come on a little bit slower. Like we're going to see that with Tucker Kraft. He's going to be behind DeGuara and Musgrave as well on the offensive side. But besides that, there really should be only 2 rookies making an immediate impact.
I think I expect big things out of a guy like Lucas Van Ness because this is a much different situation. The pass rush is in a much different situation, like you said, and we still don't know what we're going to get out of Rashawn yet.
Yeah,
and Preston is either at the peak or on the just starting the back end of his peak of his career. So there's not going to be much longer you can rely on Preston to be the dominant force that he's kind of been. And he hasn't exactly been a world beater. He's very good. He's not anything crazy good.
Yeah, but I mean, once you get, not to cut you off, but I'm gonna once you get Rashawn,
I don't
back,
want to
like,
do it.
Once you get Rashawn back, like you're not relying on Preston to be that go-to, right?
Yeah.
So it's ideally we don't need him to be that. Would you fart over there? What's going on?
Fucking fly.
Can't wait for his camera to fall over for just swinging at that.
It's fucking flies. It's been bugging
Tips
me.
over under the desk. He's not wearing pants. Please.
Just straight tighty whities. Respect.
Yeah, so I mean, you're not going to need that from him. I'm all on board though with day one overreactions, especially on rookies. Like, yeah, no, we need to see more out of them. I'm going to jump right in and go to my pay the tab, which is doing the exact same thing. Jordan Love didn't light the world on fire today.
Also, not a rookie, though.
What have you been doing? Exactly. What have you been doing for 3 years that you walk into camp and can't make every single throw and just burn the defense everywhere? What is happening? Be better than that. You have to be better than that if you're going to make it into the Hall of Fame. Like, let's get wild on day one. I'm here for it, man.
Oh, Todd. All right, Jimmy, do you want to?
Well, hold on, wait. I want to say this about what Todd said because the tongue in cheek aside, I do kind of think, yeah, like he's having trouble with throwing into the wind or having issues with that today. That's understandable. Every quarterback sort of does, but you play in Green Bay, buddy. Like you need to be able to deal with that. Remember what
exactly? It's a breeze. You can't throw the ball through a breeze. What are we doing?
2 seasons ago was that the Vikings game at Lambeau, where we were clearly the better team and lost because Aaron Rodgers was having trouble throwing in like gusty wind conditions. Like,
we're comparing first day of camp to Aaron Rodgers during an MVP season right now.
That's what training camp's for, Jimmy.
I'm just saying, that's something that needs to be worked on.
Yep,
and not that he can't do it or won't do it, but
either that, or let's just start playing for Arch Manning.
I hate both of you guys so much.
Well, who do you hate more?
All of you. I can't do this.
Okay, first of all, do not lump me in that.
Sorry. All of you males in
Jay,
here.
he's correct.
All right, Jimmy, who do you want to pay the tab?
So I put on the agenda, I'm sorry, Todd. So I'm just going to get that apology out of the way because he's going to get pissy in about 2 minutes. Initially, I had Goody on here because it wasn't so much a pay the tab for Goody. It was pay the Mercedes Lewis. And I wanted Goody to do it. But then I went on Twitter and I saw a really fun thing that Rodgers took a $35 million pay cut to play for the Jets so he could help the team win a ring or two. And this is my apology to Todd because I know he's not going to like us talking about Aaron Rodgers. But all this bullshit of it's not about the money, it's about getting guys in the building, which is great. I'm glad it took you to the Jets to finally fucking do that. But this time it's not about the money and you're going to take a $50+ million contract. Say you want to retire a Packer, then want to leave. It's just son of a bitch. I thought we were done with this. And he does this little stuff at the end to make us still talk about him. I've turned into Dan and I went from an Aaron Rodgers fan to now one that says he can go fuck himself. That pissed me off because he didn't do that for the Packers ever. But now all of a sudden he wants to do it for the Jets to win a ring or two. Where was that shit when he was with the team? He wanted the $50 million.
Did he do that after he got there, or was that part of getting him there, part of the restructure to get him there to get the Packers more in the deal?
He signed it today to save the Jets $35 million.
Okay. Yeah, that's a dick move.
So frustrating to say the least. Which it is Rodgers, so like you expect it because
that could have been something he negotiated with the Jets separately. If you meet the Packers on these conditions, I'll negotiate in good faith with you to take a pay cut to make things work and to help us get a run, and I'll come play here. So that easily could have been something he negotiated with the Jets separately as well. But yeah, bleep off, Aaron.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
Surprise. Talk out of one side of his mouth here, other side to somebody else.
I so much prefer the time where you were mad at him and I would say things to defend him just to get you going. Mm-hmm. And I'm slowly morphing into
it. Was a simpler, brighter time, Jimmy.
Yeah.
We were young. We were now, Todd, young, innocent men.
I do like the fact that he waited until camp to do, like, not when there was still like a lot of big names, a lot of talent to bring in. It was like, hey, go sign all my guys.
Yeah.
And then, okay, now we'll take a little bit of a hit. What are you going to do?
Dalvin Cook.
That's the scuttlebutt.
The old scuttlebutt. The old shuttlecock. Todd, I promise you from now on, I will not bring up Aaron Rodgers ever again. Scout's honor. But seriously, we could have used that $35 million.
That's done. Just, I don't know why you even try to make promises to me anymore, because all you ever do is break them. And I'm going to call it right now. You're going to break that one as well.
Absolutely.
First bar bet of the day. Over under 3 weeks.
Hammer the under.
You're right. I'll probably bring it up next week after I read it again, right before the show. God damn it, he did that.
All right, Todd. Some camp highlights. What did you like? What did you see today?
It sounded like Ja had a really nice afternoon, which is always great to hear, but who knows if that was him or just Jordan Love being terrible. Hard to say.
God damn it. Is that where it ends?
That was it.
That's it.
No other.
Yeah.
That is okay. I love that football is back and we are in the middle of this, but training camp drives me so crazy because it's so hard to get excited about anything that happens, because it's like, oh, Ja had a really great day against our offense. Or it's like, man, the offense looked really good and made our defense look like shit. Like, it's like, I can never be fully happy with how training camp goes.
That's a good point. You're going to be pissed at somebody.
I'm just trying to bring a little light of cynicism to this bright, bright world.
Sorry, I can't get over Todd. Just really, is this going to be the whole training camp shtick, or is this a training camp thing or a season long thing of Jordan Love sucks? Just so I can mentally prepare myself.
Depends on if he stops sucking or not.
Fair
I
enough.
have
I
a
should have
feeling
honestly
we're in
thought
for a
about that
long
solution.
season. We are in
Yeah,
for a long season.
Oh my god.
He's gonna have 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 game, and all we're gonna hear about from Todd is that 1 interception.
That doesn't sound like me.
You're right. Fair enough.
Oh,
Depends on how bad that interception is. Though.
oh, Phil.
Gil brings up a good point here about Packers social media is always ranked 32. It will always be 32 until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
This is the worst social media I've ever seen from a professional sports organization, except for that Mexican soccer team that quoted Hitler.
I'm unaware because it's soccer.
One more reason
Also-
not to pay attention to soccer.
Yeah. If it was a German team, makes sense. But Mexican, that doesn't make sense.
No. Look it up. It was wild.
wild.
They literally
I know.
in a tweet they said, quote, Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's right-hand man, and wrote this whole tweet about from Joseph Goebbels.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's a choice.
It's
Anyways,
a choice.
back to Packers camp.
Back to Packers
Yes.
football. How
Jimmy.
about Luke Musgrave?
Go ahead, Dan.
I
expand.
am very excited about Luke Musgrave. I've been pretty hype about both of these tight ends coming into just everything in the summer here, and I'm like really, really hoping that this is like the start of something very special with the tight end group for the Packers, because they literally, like, when is the last time you could say the Packers had a dominant tight end presence? I don't think you could say it about Mercedes Lewis. I don't think you could say with Jared Cook. I still like the default answer still goes back to Jermichael Finley, and even that one I'm sort of like,
That's questionable because he was
That's-
hurt all the damn time.
right. It's like I think we kind of project out a little bit with Jermichael Finley, because he got hurt, and we think of him in a little bit better light. But yeah, like I want to see this offense run out of like a play action based heavy run game with tight ends that can just bolt down the center of the field and be wide open. Like that gets me all hot and bothered. So I'm very excited with what I saw out of Luke Musgrave, especially out of the passing game today. So I'm excited for him.
Yeah. He's the big thing is going to be the blocking to get him on the field. Like at some point during obvious passing situations, it doesn't matter. And I know we have Tyler Davis to come in, and I can't believe I'm saying that as in like, this is great. We have Tyler Davis, but at least being like a suitable blocker. DeGuara as well. I know he's usually more of an H-back, but he can definitely block even lined up next to the line or on the line of scrimmage. But just having that Musgrave speed and Kraft, I know he's big for yards after the catch, but Musgrave is just going to be a different animal, and hopefully he can get that blocking up. But I don't trust whatever you just giggled at. Anyways, I still want us to get Mercedes Lewis. We need him on this team. Yes. I don't know what happened to your house. Check for planes. Dusty put on when he was on Pack a Day with Andy Herman last week, like the 5-day guest every time special that they had, mentioning just a lot of the clips that the big runs we had were because Mercedes Lewis is an extra offensive lineman. Robert Tunyon talked about having Mercedes Lewis and Jimmy Graham. Graham taught him, granted, he wasn't great at the time, somehow still is on the Saints right now. Taught him more of the receiving game, but Mercedes Lewis really broke down how to block and be a good blocker. And we don't have anyone there right now. And we don't have anyone for the wide receivers right now. Like, I feel like we need one veteran in the pass catcher unit to be there. But maybe
they'll
just
just
waiting.
Maybe they'll just do what New England did last year to us and just have a lineman report eligible for 25 plays in a row and just keep running it right down our throats.
That's true. I mean, we do have a quarterback now who will keep with run plays, so that is possible.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I didn't say his name, so that counts.
We need to highlight this comment from Iowa Joe here. Because I don't know. Does anyone have any background on this with Jeff Cotton? Was he released post his first bike ride to practice?
Honestly, I don't think that should be.
If you just put the name Jeff Cotton out there and asked me, Todd, is this guy has he been a member of the Packers? I'd say it was less than 50-50
Gang,
shot.
I didn't know he was a fucking Packer until I saw he was released today.
Really? There's like a weird little people love to tweet about him. I think mainly because his name and he was a white receiver, but it's kind of the Packers.
Why is it always about race with you, Jimmy?
It's not.
I knew you.
I'm not even going to go down that road. You know, Packer fans have a weird fascination with white receivers. People still talk about Kumaro.
Honestly, bring him in. I think him and Jordan Love could really have a good match. He was slow. Jordan underthrows the ball. What's better?
Oh,
I hate you so much. All right, I'm going to jump in with mine. Thank you, Jasmine. Same brain. I did one of the things that was really cool to see. Zach, confusing and then cool. Zach Tom is the starting right tackle over Niche/Nijman/ whatever you say his last name. I will never learn it. It's been a few years. I did not expect that. And then he also practiced at center with the third team, which is cool that we have another like switch gadget offensive lineman. We have Jenkins. It was great when we had Jenkins and Turner because they both could have moved. And I think that's now what we have with Jenkins and Tom. But I was really surprised to see him go with the ones. And maybe they're just putting there at center too, just to push. It was Meyer, Jake Hansen, and then Zach Tom. So maybe they're just trying to push. I don't know how much Hansen's really pushing Josh Meyer, but maybe Zach Tom will push him a little bit. So we'll see. But Zach Tom being able to play multiple positions, like when during the season, it sucks. Knock on wood, it's nothing serious, but some players going to go down on the offensive line. The Packers have always been able to just kind of plug and play wherever they need to. And as long as that left side stays healthy, you see Bakhtiari make it through a full season. Jenkins, his second year back from his ACL, be able to be strong. That right side really can kind of be plug and play at times. Obviously, you want that solid starting five, but having multiple options now is key. So it was cool to see him bouncing around and actually being see where he can get played now going forward.
Absolutely. I want to throw this in there just because every time, and Dan, I think you're
Didn't
with me on this.
Didn't that happen yesterday?
Every time I see anything about Sternberger, I just think of that time. Was it the Super Bowl show that we had him on?
No, it was the draft. It was the draft show.
And he was backstage and didn't realize we could see him, and he took a drink of whiskey and made just the biggest sour whiskey face.
Wasn't that like 2 months? I felt bad because then 2 months later he got suspended for DUI and then became sober.
Yeah, looking back on it, it was one of those like kind of
foreshadowing
moments. Like, oh,
sorry, dude.
Shout out to Stern.
Didn't he come on the show and like talk about smoking weed all the time or something like that? Didn't he?
That's probably Todd, honestly.
Okay.
Who knows? Drugs, man, they're cool.
Oh Lord.
Drugs are fun, kids.
I'm drug free.
No one did Dare, like the Dare program.
I was a Dare role model twice.
Oh, are you kidding me? Dare made me more interested in drugs.
I was like really into it. I don't do drugs at all.
Us either.
Not once, not never.
Not once, not never.
Won't touch them.
Dare keep the kids off drugs. That's all I remember about the song.
I love that you know the song.
That is the one thing I remember about the song. That goddamn lion.
I do have a Packers question, not to take us off Dare and drug habits. Are you guys worried at all with the multiple drops that were it's day one of camp and Todd already is talking shit about Love. So I hate to even ask this question because I think Todd's going to continue this shtick with everybody. With Watson dropping a couple passes today, one wide open, the other kind of contested with Jair behind him. Is that a worry at all with how he started the season and drops kind of got in his head last year? Or is it just it's day one, who gives a shit?
Did he end up catching them last year?
If I believe so,
actually, yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm not worried.
Okay. Did Jordan Love end up having a pretty good game against the Eagles?
No, had a pretty good quarter against the Eagles.
2 quarters, but okay.
He only had one good one.
If I did not say that shtick thing, you probably would have been anti-Watson. It was my own fault for saying you're going to say something.
It's not a shtick. We're excited about camp. What else do you want me to talk about?
That's
sorry. I'll give you the most vanilla everything the rest of the way.
I want you to be overly positive and just lie like every other Packer fan that I talk to.
Like, you just have to have like positive verbiage, you know what I mean? Like manifestate. Like if you put out negative things, it's gonna be, you know.
Jimmy has stopped working with his therapist as much, and it really shows because he's reverting back to these habits where he needs to be lied to in order to feel welcome in places. And it's just not a great.
Did I tell you I stopped talking to her that much, or did you just make that up and it's true?
It's pretty obvious.
I really did. I went from like once every other week to like once a month.
I know. I know. You know how I could tell? Because you started texting me more again.
Yeah, I know. She didn't say, hey, stop talking to Todd. He's super toxic. We also don't talk on the phone, so I don't know why I did this. It's video chat, but I feel like this.
We understand.
Yeah.
This is how everybody talks to their therapist.
We're all of an age.
Yeah.
We understand.
I hate that you know that. But yes, I did go to once a month for everyone that was wondering. Her name's Kate. She's fantastic.
I'm glad that you're still going, though, you know. Anyway. Okay.
Right. Packers, anybody?
Possible positions that Packers add to. Todd, do you want to start?
Yeah, I'm going to go D-line on this one. Looking at the overall depth, there's not a lot there, and we've seen these guys go get veteran defensive linemen in the past. Right now, you've got Kenny, TJ Slayton, Devontae Wyatt.
Look at you with the depth chart up.
Told you I was pulling this shit
I
up.
know. I thought you were lying. Look
Dude,
at
we're at the point they're moving Jonathan Garvin into be a defensive lineman. That's how bad it is.
That's just like, hey, what else do we do with him?
Yeah.
Oh, just have him go take a poop mid-game, and he's great.
I think, honestly,
I will never forget watching him jog into the locker room and saying,
was it a jog or was it a waddle?
It was a jog, and I was like, he's got to take a poop. And then he came back out and immediately got a sack. And I was like,
10 pounds lighter.
There it is. Yeah, he was lighter on his feet.
10 pounds.
Motor was moving.
Do you need a colonoscopy?
You guys not poop once every 2 weeks? I'm just kidding.
Jimmy doesn't poop. He lays an egg.
Yeah, just give birth to Big Bird. Anyways, Dan.
Jimmy.
Yeah, I did kicker for this one, mainly just to kind of Todd hates special teams, throw it out there. But Matt Schneidman made a point to ask Goody, and I think he even brought it up to LaFleur, and he's tweeted about it. The Packers usually have 2 to 3 kickers on their roster every training camp just for competition. This year, we only have the one that we drafted. It's a poor catcher. No, but maybe now. Yeah, it'll be much cheaper. Anyways, maybe I would feel like they should bring another kicker just for the competition aspect. We have Carlson, who I think he went 2 for 3 today. But at this point, you're trying to replace someone who's going to go into the Packers Hall of Fame, who was an incredible part of the team for so long. Trusting on Carlson, who even had some accuracy problems in college, in my mind, isn't the way to go. But maybe they'll bring somebody in, give him some competition. I hope so. LaFleur always preaches on that, but right now it's just kind of him. Maybe they want to give him a few days, let him get comfortable. And he's Richie B's guy. So brother, I think, to one of the kicker for the Raiders. So that might be why. It was 5 for 6, not 2 for 3. Sorry, John Shute. But we'll see. Todd, anything on kickers or punters?
No.
No. All right.
I mean, mine is kind of just an extension of what Todd said.
Jimmy said.
No. Is pass rusher. I think all along that whole defensive front, defensive line, defensive pass rush. I think Jay said it about inside linebacker too. So you could really say the whole front seven is a little thin once you get past the starters. And so I think you could theoretically make a case that they could bring in somebody, some of these other cast-offs from a different team in training camp here at any of those positions, and it's going to be an instant an instant boost to the rotation at any of those. So, I'll say pass rusher just to stay on branding for this whole show since I've been Mr. Pass Rush today. So,
to go back to this, were you more surprised Holland started over Kingsley or over Van Ness?
I mean, I guess maybe I wasn't surprised about any of it. I was just kind of hoping that Van Ness would kind of come out the first day firing as the number one guy with Rashawn being out. I guess maybe it doesn't surprise me necessarily because, it's training camp. Guys are going to get shuffled around all over the place throughout, pretty much most of these first couple of practices. I guess I'm expecting big things out of Van Ness. And so I'd like to see him come out and get that opportunity right out of the gate. So
with a nickname like Hercules, you should.
Yeah.
Next time.
LVM.
Next year.
True North, I highly recommend BetterHelp. It's a great service.
That's true.
I recommend watching Shrinking on Apple TV. And that will help you just as much.
Okay.
There you go. I thought Jasmine did that, and I forgot she didn't have.
I was gonna say, what the hell, Jasmine? We're friends.
I was like, look at Jasmine taking control.
Todd, I remember one on MySpace.
She was looking at me, and I was like, I know that look. Get rid of Jimmy.
Yeah, that's what she was saying with her eyes. Not
you would be surprised how many people give me that look.
I am Jimmy.
You get rid of Jimmy.
Be surprised how many people give me that look.
You don't know what it looks like because either that or you just ignore it every time.
Oh, I ignore it. I just assume they're drunk and I hang around. Crazy eyes.
Just hang around. I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
also, I do appreciate John in the chat putting in little fact checkers for us. And if you could do that every show, John, that would be fantastic.
We will not pay you for it.
John, if you would like to be a producer.
Ooh,
I was going to ask about Bakhtiari though, like what your thoughts were.
As long as every game we play is on grass, let's go.
I do like that he's doing that they're still going to do kind of the load management, even also that John put in the chat too. I appreciate it. At this point, he had 2 years off pretty much and played or a full season off, season and a half, whatever, and did really well when he was in last year. So if he practices once a week, 0 times a week, I don't care. Last year he did well on his load management, figuring out his practice schedule as they went. I'm fine with it. The man's an all pro whenever he's on the field. So just get him on there and we're going to be baby.
Are you saying 50% of Bakhtiari for a season is better than 100% of a guy that's going to be there for 16 games?
No, I'm saying practice wise. If they don't he could not practice, he can barely practice. I don't care. As long as he's on the field game day, I'm happy because he's going to be fine. So I don't care about his practice stuff.
Yeah, typically it's a rule I live by, but especially this early, I don't want to talk about another man's load. Just not something we need to do. How you doing, Jasmine?
Anywho, you guys are interested. The first 15 minutes here so far, the women's team has been putting on the pressure. Really,
they're playing.
I was like, they're gonna take you out, Dan. You know this.
Hey,
all right.
Hey, Jesus knew he was going to be crucified, and yet he did what he did.
Oh,
you're not saving anyone from sin. What are we on
right
himself
now? To Jesus. Y'all are wild.
Not us, just Dan. Todd and I are tame.
No,
obviously the DARE program did not work for Dan. All right, let's wrap this shit up before we compare ourselves to Buddha.
We don't have any bar bets tonight.
No bar bet.
Yeah, we'll start that week one, maybe preseason games, but
they also didn't. They didn't prep me enough. I don't know how I'm supposed to close.
Just tell people to follow everybody on
Follow us. We love you. Y'all are great.
Dan, where can they follow you?
At DK all the way, right on the little bubble here on Twitter. For now.
I appreciate it. Just January. I think you just leave it at that. Follow me on Twitter, Jimmy_C08. Also follow Game on WI as well, and make sure you subscribe to Game on Wisconsin on YouTube. We have a giveaway coming out in a few days. Probably on Monday, we'll release the prizes on what we're giving out. So follow us there for a chance to win, and then go ahead and Toddeth.
You can follow me at the Todd V. I might tweet again this week, or I might not. Who knows?
You can follow me at JasmineAshley22. I just tweet a lot about food until football starts. Like,
honestly, the food you've been tweeting though has looked absolutely delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I've been sober for a month, and that's all I'm doing is cooking. I made a cottage cheese ice cream yesterday, so
I was sober for 2 days before today, and I ate pretzels with marinara sauce yesterday because we were out of salsa. So we have very different lifestyles.
Wait, you eat pretzels with salsa?
Yes, you barbarian. Pretzels and salsa is delicious. Pretzels with marinara sauce, not so much. But I didn't have any other sauce. So there we were.
Question, Jimmy, you mentioned 2 days of sobriety.
Yeah.
You had a failed sobriety about last season. Did you get that 10K ran yet?
I did a race. I did a 5-mile race and a 11-mile bike ride. I did.
How did I know this?
Because I texted you and you said, if you would have told me this earlier, I would have counted it as your race. And I said, can I count it as my race? And you said, no.
That's right. So you didn't run that 10K yet.
No, I did 16 miles instead. You're welcome.
So you didn't run the 10K yet in full Vikings gear?
No, but I did 16 miles in shorts and a sweatshirt.
Okay, so that doesn't count.
Oh,
so
okay, well, we'll figure that off air.
You better get that 10K going.
Give me a couple years to train.
All right.
So we're done here, right?
We're done. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Until
See you
next week,
week.
everybody.
Bye.
Shit show that it always is.